What's going on, guys? KEVINCAGE here with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well, and we got a bunch of Ripple and XRP news to dive into in today's video. And a huge thank you to everybody that hits the like button and subscribes. It takes 2 seconds, and let's dive in. So first up, we have Monica Long, who is the president over at the company Ripple, and this news just dropped today. She says, "Last week we announced DBS and Franklin Templeton using the Ripple US dollar as a liquid, stable, and compliant exchange mechanism for tokenized assets in lending and trading use cases." And this week we had Securitize add the Ripple US dollar as a new off-ramp for BlackRock and VanEck tokenized funds. So this just came out today. We have Yahoo Finance sharing this along with Securitize directly on their blog. And to learn more about Securitize, you can go to securitize.io, the leader in real-world asset tokenization. Now down below, they have over $4 billion on chain in nearly 600,000 accounts. We also have Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse saying he's very excited to share that BlackRock's BUIDL and then VanEck's VBIL, these tokenized fund holders, can redeem shares for the Ripple US dollar and ETH 24/7, 365, all through Securitize. And soon to come with the Ripple US dollar and XRP ledger. Alright, so let's go over this most recent blog put out by the company Ripple, and we can see on Securitize, we have BlackRock's US dollar institutional digital liquidity fund, or BUIDL, say that 5 times fast. We can see the minimum investment is $5 million. So let's run through the need-to-know information in this press release that just came out today. So we have Ripple and Securitize enable Ripple US dollar smart contract functionality for BlackRock's BUIDL and then VanEck's VBIL tokenized funds. So essentially, this integration is bringing the Ripple US dollar to Securitize's tokenization platform, and in a previous video we went over looking at the Ripple US dollar and the circulating supply, the amount that's on Ethereum and the amount that is on the XRPL. So this was announced today, a smart contract that would allow the holders of BlackRock's digital liquidity fund and VanEck's VBIL to exchange their shares to Ripple for the Ripple US dollar. And this smart contract adds an additional stablecoin off-ramp for BUIDL and VBIL tokenized short-term treasury funds. And here we can see BlackRock's fund and VanEck's treasury fund, or VBIL, represent both firms' first tokenized funds issued on public blockchains. And it's just a matter of time before more firms, because obviously VanEck and BlackRock are huge, are likely going to follow behind. So with this smart contract, we have BUIDL and VBIL holders of these funds can instantly exchange their shares for the Ripple US dollar 24/7. Investors gain continuous exposure to the Ripple US dollar while preserving exposure to on-chain yield and a broader range of DeFi strategies, further driving utility, flexibility, and interoperability for tokenized RWAs. And the Ripple US dollar is already available for BlackRock's fund, and we can see that the VBIL support for the Ripple US dollar is coming over the next few days. So it's great to see that the Ripple US dollar on Ethereum is already integrated, but what we really want to see is the Ripple US dollar on the XRPL. And that's just a matter of time. We can see in this paragraph right here, Securitize is also integrating with the XRP ledger. So this is really good to see, and remember just last week on September 18th, we had DBS, Franklin Templeton, and Ripple all partnered together as well. So we have DBS and Franklin Templeton using the Ripple US dollar, essentially powering trading and lending solutions that are all tied to their tokenized money market funds. And then we have for today Securitize, BlackRock, and VanEck, essentially leveraging the Ripple US dollar, unlocking liquidity and programmability for these tokenized treasury funds. And keep in mind that all of this being built, the tokenization platforms, the asset managers being used, the banks, custodians, all of this is interoperable with Ripple's infrastructure. And this really is enterprise DeFi taking shape in real time, and we have down below highlighting the Ripple US dollar, issued under a NYDFS trust charter. Alright, next up, I saw this in the headlines today, shared by Watcher Guru, just in $1.3 trillion Morgan Stanley to offer Bitcoin and crypto trading in the first half of 2026. So there are already a bunch of articles out there. They are sourcing right here, Matthew on X, and Matthew, this gentleman, is VanEck's head of digital assets research. So basically we have Morgan Stanley partnering with Zero Hash to let E-Trade clients trade popular coins beginning in the first half of the next year, starting off with Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana. The firm is planning to build a full wallet solution for clients after allowing them to trade coins, and will launch an asset allocation strategy around crypto in the coming weeks. We have the CEO of Zero Hash saying every bank with a trading or private wealth arm will offer crypto to their customers as a spot contract. Alright, next up on 8marketcap.com, we can see gold is continuing to absolutely crush it. Its market cap climbed from 25 trillion up to 25.6 trillion. Now, considering that gold is the #1 risk-on asset, and the Federal Reserve did just recently announce a 25 basis point rate cut, we have iTrustCapital put out a really good blog I highly recommend checking out, going over the crypto cycles. So feel free to check this out. I just want to touch on a few points here. And friendly reminder, nothing shared is ever financial advice, whether you're looking at Bitcoin's 4-year cycle or the 3 to 5 year business cycle or debt refi cycle. Past returns are never indicative of future gains. And this is always really interesting to look at, basically looking at the halving, the price at the halving, and then the peak price of Bitcoin in the following year, whether you're looking 12 to 18 months after each halving. We know that this cycle's been a bit different. We are at an all-time high. We are consolidating. Our halving was in 2024, and for the first time in history, Bitcoin actually broke into an all-time high price, at least wicking into an all-time high before the halving. And I know we're all wondering the same thing, and iTrustCapital says it best. If the trend holds, the question becomes, when in 2025 might Bitcoin reach its peak, and what price could it potentially hit? And friendly reminder, for any US residents that want to make sure that they have an account that is fully secure, be sure to check out the Premium Custody account by iTrustCapital. So we've gone over this many times before, and they leverage a closed-loop system. And take a look at this infographic when you are comparing cold storage, holding your crypto on a Ledger Nano or Decent. They're great, but there are pros and cons. We remember that Ledger with Ledger Live a while back now, but it got hacked. If you are doing anything with DeFi, you have to be very careful. I always recommend, if you are doing anything in DeFi with a cold storage wallet, make sure that it's fun money. Your serious holdings should not be connected to a bunch of dApps. We have exchanges, and we've gone over pros and cons with this. You can have institutional custody and 24/7, 365 buying and selling, but remember the Account on Cheap interview I did, the tax reporting is just not accurate. And lastly, we have the PCA, or the Premium Custody account, ticking off all of these boxes. And why a lot of investors are paying attention to this closed-loop system is because it's one of the most secure things you can do in the crypto space. A closed-loop system does not allow payments or connection to external wallets. That is the cause of the majority of hacks out there. For added security, US dollar withdrawals to and from your bank account only. And you just can't beat that, specifically for investors that want to know and have peace of mind for their crypto holdings. And the best part is, it's free to have. There's just a 1% transaction fee anytime you buy or sell. So if you do decide to sign up, make sure that you're using the promo code KEVINCAGE8. That way when you fund, you get your $100 funding bonus. And this is all linked right in the YouTube video description, or you can check the top link in my link tree right there. Alright, what else do we have for today's video? Let's go over some RWAs and then we'll call it a day. So first up, we have right here by Cointelegraph. Analysts foresee the RWA, or real world asset tokenization market, at around $16 trillion. But progress is still slowed by technical and regulatory hurdles. So here we can see other tokenizable assets, listed equity, unlisted equity, other equity, investment funds, bonds, home equity, and other financial assets. We have right here the tokenized market as a percentage of global GDP. Now, global GDP today is well over $100 trillion. And if you guys remember the original BCG report going over this, they are basically projecting for the tokenized market to be 10% of global GDP by 2030. So really interesting to think about, but let's be real, there are so many regulatory hurdles today. Yes, we got the Genius Act, that is a federal regulatory framework for stablecoins. But we still need so many other things for the growth of RWAs. And this original post was going over the post-mainnet upgrade for Mantra is now the first Layer 1 blockchain for RWAs, or real-world assets, with native EVM, Ethereum virtual machine, and then we have the Cosmo-WASM like WebAssembly support. Developers get flexible tools, regulators get built-in compliance. And that's absolutely a real win for adoption. We need built-in tools that have compliance, but it's a lot easier to actually be compliant when there are clear guidelines and rules of the road. We need regulations, and we need it to be clear so that we can have real builders come into this space and be confident in what they're building. No builder is going to want to invest thousands, if not millions of dollars, and build a use case that could be outlawed or banned later. So point being, and just like everybody says in this crypto space, we need regulatory clarity on a variety of fronts. And I'm sure we're sick of these multi-trillion-dollar predictions, but it is interesting to think about considering where we're at today for total RWAs on chain at 30 billion, a mere fraction. with the majority of this being in private credit, but with regulations, hopefully we could see more growth in the use of commodities and equities like stocks. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to dive into a bunch in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.